Yeah, I guess so far so good. All right. Good evening. I'm your host for this evening, Avid Vitus, CEO of Talents of Endearment. We are a member of the Identity Branding Forum of Brands, and this is actually my first broadcast live on LinkedIn. And those who has been watching, following us, we use different platforms. But this is my first experience on LinkedIn, and I hope uh, we meet your expectations. And like we have always done for the past couple of years, doing our webinars. And today, just a brief introduction of Identity Branding Forum. We've been around since 2007, creating transformation. We have created our own Sustainable Human Development Protocol and the latest developments, which is Talents of Endearment. And we are about creating relevancy. Everything in the world to become meaningful, it has to be relevant to the things that we do, to the present, to the future, to the community, to business, and to our employees. It has to be connected somehow. Let me get into the conversation quickly because I don't want to keep you hooked up with me for a little longer than I should, and hopefully will be brief but yet to the point. And when we talk about kids is heartbreakers. Kids is what makes the world actually clicks. It drives your adrenalines, and they have a way that actually make people connected, stay connected. They're fun. They're a fun world. Just like the poster in the background of mine, it gives you an inspirations in terms of how do they think, how do they act. It all started with me and kids years ago. I have a very good friend of mine, and he he's a fashion designer consultant to the major houses. And whenever I share ideas with him, I love talking. I love writing a lot of things to engage people. I complicate things. And he used to look at the stuff that I have and says, "Well, try to talk to me as a and think of me as a 5 years old. Try to simplify what you have for a 5 years old to understand what you're trying to say." I didn't understand much of what he was trying to say to me. And I says, simplify it. He says, I want you to discover it. What does that mean? And to give me a hint, and he says, some of our craziest ideas actually comes from kids. And by the way, he is the guy behind the torn up jeans fashion that we either like it or don't like it, that is being widely spread today. And I and when I started thinking about it, how could I simplify something for a 5 years old to understand it? I don't think that young anymore. I don't think I cannot go back that far. And well, I'm not gonna ask you to guess how old I am, but I'm way far ahead from the 5 years old. So until I discovered the secret. So when I started preparing something new, I started asking kids, take a look at this and tell me what you understand. Try to phantom, imagine what I am saying. Give whatever you write to a 5 years old kid. Tell me what you understand out of it. Don't explain anything. Don't do anything other than saying, I would like you to tell me what it is that you understand out of it. Watch what they will come back. Some may not understand it. Some might give you a word or two. But you see, the word, the one word or two that those kids is going to come back to you are the little secrets of how you start simplifying things. And the few more of those few words that they're going to tell you what they understood will actually make up the story of how to simplify your presentation, your product, whatever you have. Give it to them. It says, what do you see here? Let them play with it and come back to you and to tell you what exactly they see. Because this is the simplicity that my friend was talking about. It is not how I want them all the explanation in the world that I may have, it is not going to convince them. But what will convince them is what they will actually come out with to say, well, this is how I see it. This is what I understood to mean to me. You see, your customers aren't experienced people. They will never know the difference between a good doctor or a bad doctor. They will never know the difference between a good leadership or a bad leadership. It is who they feel comfortable with. So what my friend was saying, try to to communicate what you have to a 5 years old, meaning that any person that don't have your experience, might as well be looked at as a 5 years old. Try to think in terms of what really they understand out of it, what really they grasp out of it. Then the whole thing will make it a total difference out of it. So kids will help you when you start thinking from that perspective. You will start be able actually to getting understand how to simplify things by going to kids. Start 5 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. Pick, and they're not going to cost you anything as a business, but they will. What they will do for you, they will start helping you and understanding how a person that is not of your experience or any experience close to what you have or what you are offering, they can actually start seeing it. It is the perception that your customers will have about what you have in front of them, not the perception that you think they're going to have. Because what you might have isn't necessarily close to even understand it. So in branding, we say, if you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk. Okay, be serious about it. This is what the concept, the title of this conversation today is: if you're gonna listen to the kids talk for your business walk, in order to start getting closer to your market, to your customers, with the ideas, with the presentations, with everything that you are planning into doing. Years ago, my daughter, in the United States, she was 11 years old, and uh, one day she comes to me and says, "Dad, I wish they can do something with those postal boxes, mailboxes in front of homes. This is what they have in the U.S." And I says, "Why? Why is that a problem to you?" She said she was volunteering to distribute flyers for a senator going for election across the neighborhoods. And whenever she tries to open up the mailbox doors, it falls on her head because she was short. And it dawned to me back then and says how effective that is to have a 11 years old kid spreading your message. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Can you imagine the impact that would create on your customer? Can you imagine how that could flow across the board with your customers? So, how could kids help your business get connected to the local communities? Think about your CSR, your corporate social responsibility campaigns. Okay, think about in terms of some of the ideas that they would have for you to communicate to the local communities or to explore what your local communities is going to be able. Cost effective, very efficient, very low, and yet very effective, very impactful because it will bring you home to people. No cost, very little cost. Maybe a Big Mac for those little kids, or a Whopper. So So nobody says I'm promoting anything to anybody. How about you let those kids becomes your tutors in the community, to your customers? Can you imagine what is the impact they're gonna create? Can you imagine when you have a 5 years old, or 8 years old, or 11 years old, tutoring for your business, talking about trying to say, explain, describe, or promote your product or your business ideas? Creativity, it hits. Uh, have them create games for you. Years ago, we used to own a chicken slaughterhouse, and in order to compete with the competition, we didn't want to focus on the traditional customers that the other competition are focused on. The mom and dad, when they go to the supermarkets, they are the decision makers to buy chicken. And what we wanted to do is look for a new customer, new decision maker for buying that chicken. We focused on kids. And back then in the 80s, in the early 80s, the Roadrunner was kids' popular show. Mine to this day, still. And what we did back then is created our logo and the designs for the chicken bags, the Roadrunner coming out of a chicken egg. So when mom and dad goes to the supermarkets, most of the times they take their kids with them. So what we did, our bags is not going to attract their attention, but whose attention is it going to attract? Kids, of course. And what we did, they the kids start picking up the bag. They don't care for the chicken. They just wanted the bag. The Roadrunner, the pictures on that bag of the Roadrunner, their hero. Mom and dad bought the chicken because it's a chicken. Now what we wanted to do is stay home for as long as possible in order for them to get used to our products in their refrigerator. We created games for kids to get involved, collecting the bags, and it's on. Our aim was to how what we can do to keep the kids connected with our product, for our product to stay in our customers' refrigerators for 6 months to get used to it. So talking about when the kids could create a number of opportunities for your products, no matter what you do, complex, simple food, clothing, they are a fabulous marketing tool that they can help you break your customers' hearts, to win their hearts and to win their loves. They are perfect to test your products. They're perfect if a kid can, if a 10 years old or 11 years old cannot figure out how to do how your products operates, the different advantages and benefits, your customers aren't. Give a kid today any smartphone, and within hours they will figure it out a lot faster than me or you or any other digital talented savvy people might, because they like, that's their nature. They're curious breed. From the day they were born, their curiosity is their drive. Everything that they do, they explore it. They love to explore a lot more than what we do. So give any product or any idea to your kids to figure it out. And if they understood it, then your customers will. If they didn't, then your customers will have a hard time with it. They will come up with the crazy ideas for you. Imagine a fashion designer, you go to them and says, how would you like to see your mom and pop dressed? How would you like to see your school teacher dressed? What kind of food would you like to eat? Let This is just an example. What kind of games that my company should actually engage with its employees, the families of the employees? They will come up with a lot of ideas for you. You will be amazed with the things that you will never be able to think of, that they will give you instantly in a very short period of time, cost effective, but yet far more impactful. And make them your ambassadors. Imagine when you have little ambassadors carrying your pins, your company's pins, going to schools. in the communities, uh, spreading little messages, your, what you are about as a business. By the way, we have a say in branding. This, good brands makes people feel good about you. Great brands makes people feel great about themselves. That's what builds loyalty. So when you start allowing kids becomes your ambassadors to the messages that your business may have for the local communities to bring to those local communities, it's a game changer. Really, it is. It's worth trying. It doesn't cost you than trying having your kids or school kids in your communities, your neighborhoods, pick up a message and spread it for you. They're great marketers and they are heartbreakers. When you have a kid promoting your products or your businesses, they will break hearts for you. People start listening. And they will become your social channel champions, your your YouTubers that you have. They will be phenomenally more impactful than you or me appearing on YouTube channel to promote my products or business. They're very effective, very impactful to use them because their voice is heard a lot faster and easily accepted than yours or mine. We'll all be been through it of it. So what we have done, we created a program called Talents of Endearment, a platform that actually brings youth, young people with businesses to start filtering out the ideas without the standards that we get burdened and loaded with them. We always in business we always love to see new standards. What's the new standards in the industry? What's the rules? What are the success stories? We like to follow, but yet we talk about the creativity, but we are too far away from it because we love to follow the standards that's being laid out of it. It's good as a discipline, but it's a disaster when you try to apply it to creativity, to innovation. So what we have done through Talents of Endearment is allowing youth come together with business. Youth, crazy ideas, no standards, free of the biases businesses are loaded with, and business wisdom to discover future opportunities, crazy opportunities, and convert them to ideas, and convert them to opportunities and solutions that business of today and tomorrow could utilize. And this is how we allowed youth to become relevant to the future of business and creating value for what they do for themselves and for the business and the local communities that they are operating of. So I don't want to take it long. This is my first, like I said, live broadcast on LinkedIn, and I love to hear your feedback, okay, in the comment boxes. And below under the details, you will see the website address of Talents of Endearment, www.talentsofendearment.com, or info at talentsofendearment.com for any queries that you may have for us. Thank you for being with me, listening to me to this evening. Abid Baides of Identity Branding Forum and the Talents of Endearment brand. And stay safe, positive, productive, and see you soon. Inshallah. God bless. Take care. See you soon.